Let's talk about a movie that Alan and I have both seen. It is a Chinese film called Full River Red. It is a nearly 3-hour film set in ancient China. It is the story behind a poem that Chinese children recite in school, and it's how this poem came to be. And I saw this film in a theater. I think, Alan, you saw a screener of it.
Yes.
I saw this film in a theater, and for the first half of the movie, it was insufferable. It has this kind of weird hip hop music. It's set in this castle, this sort of castle establishment, and it's all about a letter. Someone has a letter. Where's the letter? Who has the letter? We need this letter. And the letter, there's something nefarious happening behind the scenes with this letter. Who's got the letter? We need to track down who has it. Some people are killed for even just looking at the letter. And you'll see this sort of palace intrigue of, he's not the king, but he's, what is his station?
He's the prime minister.
He's the prime minister.
Yeah, and there's a delegate of a rival clan that has come to visit.
So you've got all these soldiers guarding this fortress, and it's all about the search for this letter. Peasants are involved. There's all sorts of palace intrigue of who has this letter, what are the contents of the letter, and the prime minister is after this letter. You little by little, you actually get to see the prime minister, and he has all these guards. You can't even get physically close to him. And there, what I did like about halfway through the film, it's like, oh, I get it. I get what they're building towards. There are all these reversals where you even think that a certain character is the lead character, but they're not the lead character. A different person is the lead character. And are they really the lead character? So I did love the sort of twists and turns, but also this movie is a slog to get through at 3 hours. So it's not something you need to know what you're getting into. It's Chinese, it's 3 hours, and it has this sort of unique way of telling the story where it cuts to like these overhead shots, which I thought was really interesting, and plays this music that isn't of the era. And I thought that kind of worked for me. And then I thought the thing that brought it all together to me was, I'm like, this movie, it's just long. And then the ending happened and I was blown away. The ending brought it all together because it's based on a true historical event, and it's based on a poem that children in China recite aloud. So I am positive with a warning. If this is not your type of movie, a 3-hour film with Chinese subtitles, you're checked out. If you want to see something that challenges your expectations, that does have a payoff at the end, I thought the payoff was great. I thought the payoff was great. Getting there was rough. So a mixed recommendation for Full River Red, which is playing in limited release. Alan, what did you think of Full River Red?
I think Imperfect's comment here sums it up.
It was exhausting.
Okay, so I have to say, I think you and I saw a different movie, especially regarding the ending. There's never been a movie that has frustrated me more than this. Throughout the entire 3 hours of it, I was constantly pausing it just to see how much more of this movie I'm going to have to watch. Okay, so this is the problem with the movie and with the opening of the movie. Things are introduced to you at a fast and furious rate that you don't have the cognitive ability to keep up with it or to understand what's going on. Captions are thrown at you and then thrown away, and it's like, like they'll identify a character, their rank, and you have no time to absorb it with what does that mean. And then also, the most frustrating thing about this movie is the rapid rate at which captions are thrown at you and taken off screen. There are a full sentence of dialogue you have 2 seconds to read before they yank it off the screen. And so now I'm lost. I have no idea what's going on. And so I would say the first the first 45 minutes of the movie is me trying to understand who is who and what is going on. This is, you know, I've
No,
mentioned before I have
look,
dyslexia.
by the
I've mentioned before I have dyslexia. This movie is a dyslexic's nightmare. Uh,
well,
I and you know, I feel like throughout watching it, and maybe it's because I watch it at home, I just felt like I had a loose grasp of the plot. You know, I started to kind of figure things out, and it's just this was frustrating, especially at 3 hours. And you mentioned the scenes, like they would be in a room and then have to go to another room, and then you heard this kind of Chinese hip hop soundtrack
I
as
like
they're
that. I
running
like
to
that.
the room. And it reminds me of, you know, in Batman, and the Adam West Batman, you know, they would be in a scene, and then you'd have that cartoon interstitial, the da 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 da, and then they'll be in another one. That's what this reminded me of. I you know, I can't recommend this movie. And I the ending that grasped you so much, you know, I didn't get that.
Well,
I
I
didn't
think
walk
the
away with that.
ending is the payoff. I thought, but you're right. The running time is tough. The running time is rough. They really, and you were right about the subtitles. Even look, I'm not dyslexic, and it would bothered me. They put up someone's name and then their like rank, and it was just bizarre.
Yeah, but and you have no time to process that. What does that rank and that name mean in the context of the other story? And can you remember it? Can you log that into your memory
Right.
enough to when you see them again, you understand what they are?
Exactly. So, well, there you go. A mixed reaction to this film. I think it's also a hard movie to watch on. It would be a hard movie to watch on video. In
Yeah.
the theaters, at least it's like, all right, I'm gonna get to the end.
Yeah,
So
and you're forced to kind of focus on the story when you're in the theater as opposed to when you're at home.